Joining me in studio from the women's lacrosse team is sophomore attacker Izzy McMahon. Thank you for joining me, Izzy.
Absolutely. Thank you, Anthony.
Izzy transferred from the United States Military Academy, where she played her freshman season. Thanks for coming in. So first question, how do you think the season's going on so far?
I think the season's going pretty well. Obviously, we've had some tough wins and tough losses, but I definitely think we're learning from those losses and using that as momentum to fuel for our next game. We're a really young team, but good thing that our senior leadership has really supported us and showed us the way in the Pac-12.
And so you personally transferred from West Point after your freshman season to here. What was it like making that transition?
The transition had its ups and downs for sure. Unfortunately, I had to spend a year of residency away from a four-year institution. So I spent a year at JUCO, kind of just getting my degree finished and training on my own. So being away from competitive lacrosse for a whole year was a little difficult, especially getting back into it. But you know, on the athletic side of it, coming from West Point, I think it was pretty smooth just because I was basically in season all year long, going from basketball to lacrosse. And lacrosse here is pretty demanding, and it's basically a full-time job. So I think the transition went pretty well.
And speaking of lacrosse being a full-time job, it's really also a full family affair for you guys. So you're following your older sister coming to USC. What's that like?
It's pretty funny. I mean, a lot of people have said that me and her play completely different ways. Gabrielle was a midfielder, and I'm strictly attack. But you know, she left her mark here at USC, definitely, and hopefully I can come in and just fill those shoes that she left.
And not only that, your younger sister you faced this weekend against Stanford.
Yeah.
That must have been, what's the competition like playing against your sister?
It's pretty funny. You know, we obviously talk a lot and we keep in touch, and you know, we just always remind ourselves that at the end of the day we're walking away as family, and on the field, you know, we're just enemies for about 60 minutes and that's it. And it's a little uncomfortable at times because Daniella, I've always played with her, especially in high school, and she's the kind of player that I love to play with. She's definitely a hustle player. She makes great decisions, and so when I did go up against her, it was a little, I didn't know how to feel about it, but it's all fun and games.
I mean, you outdid her on the score sheet. You had more goals than she did on Sunday.
Yeah.
How did the whole family get so involved in lacrosse?
Well, both my mom and dad were lacrosse players in high school, and then they both played at William & Mary. And we've basically had sticks in our hands since we can remember. And my mom has coached me basically throughout my whole life, from when I first picked up a stick all the way to when I graduated high school. So I think just all of us playing lacrosse, and we've kind of always been competitive. We've always pushed each other, and I think that's what kind of brought us our success.
And I hope they've coached you how to play well under pressure, because you guys have had a lot of high-pressure games, a lot of overtime games this season. What has that been like?
I mean, obviously we're used to it at this point. I think 4 games we've been in overtime, and unfortunately I think we've only lost 2 of those games to BC and Stanford. They were both tough losses, but what we're kind of trying to do is just forget about those tough losses and just move on to the next game. And you know, hopefully if we do get into another high pressure situation, especially in overtime, we can pull out with the win.
And you guys are facing the Buffaloes, the Colorado Buffaloes, on Friday, who are really closely ranked with you, like right above you in both the Pac-12 and the nation. What are you guys going to have to do to beat them?
Honestly, I think it's just going to come down to, you know, who wants it more, and it just starts with the little things like ground balls, hustling to the 50-50s, who gets to draw, and I think whoever does that controls the small things, the hustle plays. I think we'll come out with the win, and we've been preparing already for Colorado. We obviously we had a tough game with them going into overtime, so I think this next game is going to be pretty fun.
Who are some of the players on Colorado that you guys know you have to kind of look out for?
Yeah. Obviously, Darby Scott, she kind of hurt us last game. I think she had 4 goals against us, and she had the goal to send us into overtime. And she's a really good player. I actually played with her in the summer when I was a little bit younger. So we're definitely keeping an eye out for her. Also, their goalie played really well against us. She had 17 saved shots, so hopefully we can place the ball a little bit better and make those shots count.
Well, I'll be watching as the season goes on. Izzy, thanks for joining me.